going back to your original premise, the deinstitutionalization of our psychiatric system starting in the 70s through the 80s has definitely contributed to a lot of the issues that we're seeing with modern chronic homelessness. I would say, though, the co-commitment of supportive housing facilities that was talked about in the presentation is the supportive housing that we're talking about. We think people with significant mental or physical disabilities do need a very, very stable environment with wraparound services. Downtown, we're building a site with 83 units of villas on the park. It's going to be dedicated to serving that population and providing them with the support and services that they need. I think bridge housing makes a lot more sense for the population of working adults, couples, singles, not necessarily families or youth, but individuals that need temporary support while they're waiting to get back on their feet. The rental market here is, vacancy rate less than 5% right now. I think the median rent for one bedroom apartment in San Jose is about $2,300. So, what we're looking at right now is how we could use temporary bridge housing as a way to get people quickly off the streets, people who are living in their RVs, people who are living in their cars on the streets right now, get them to a more stable environment. The sites and all the program that we have envisioned right now includes on-site security, property management, and appropriate supportive services depending on the population and the need. When we come to council in December for that conversation, we're going to be presenting not only a general idea of what the sites will look and feel like, but also what the operations will be like as well. So that's the next stage of the conversation, sort of the program design, the unit design, the timelines, and how we'll be working with the community. Unfortunately, we're still a long way off from even being at a point where we can select a site. To choose one site, we still have to go through the California Environmental Quality Act. We have to post notices in the community, do mandatory public outreach. So, program design and unit design is really where we're going to be coming back next, and then asking council, is this a project that they want to move forward with? Thank you, ma'am.
So one question is that we all know that Google has a plan to move into San Jose downtown. So we know that that's not finalized yet, but that's in progress. So I was wondering how much negotiation the city is having with big corporation like Google to actually help alleviate the homeless problem in the city.
That's why we push your homes.
We do, engaging the private community has always been a bit of a challenge. Companies like Google, Facebook, they have global marketplaces, so they're not necessarily looking at where they're located. Recently, however, though, we've had some success in beginning to get some of these bigger corporations to contribute to causes. We have a new $3.3 million homeless family prevention program. So it's families and schools who are at risk of homelessness and creating a safety net for them. And that was funded by Packard, Google, Sunlight, which is a foundation of WhatsApp. So we're beginning to see more commitment to improve the quality of life for workers, for their workers in the community and the community as a whole. We're hoping to continue that momentum. There's been a lot of good progress of that in LA and San Francisco. We're hoping with some of our local companies we can make that happen here too.
I'd just like to clarify one thing. When your office, Councilman, sent out the letters, the emails in August saying that the Noble site was off due to the proximity of schools and whatnot, I can't quote where I got the information, but I was told that it was the mayor, Ricardo, who canceled those restrictions, with thus making Noble eligible again. I just want to make sure I understand. Was that erroneous information you sent out? Or was there an official act that now got rid of the restrictions?
So I've sent out 2 letters to the community regarding this.
The first one.
Okay, so the first was, let me walk you through it. The first one was, I was on my way back from July recess and everyone was upset, and my staff without me was getting calls and then emails from the community. And so we were talking to the housing department, and the housing department said, well, here's what we'll do. We'll add criteria to it, and Noble will be eliminated because it's 150 feet from riparian corridor, away from schools and residences and all these setback things. Well, so I'm like, that's great, Noble's off. And so I just repeated the information that I heard. And bear with me, I'm still a new council member. So I hear, okay, great, I repeated that out to the thing. When we got to the council, I realized that everything goes back to the council. We have a housing director, we have a director of transportation, we have a director of all sorts of things, but they can suggest things to the council, but ultimately the council votes yea or nay, do we proceed or not proceed? So as far as, Jackie being the housing expert, the housing department, she knows more about housing than I ever will, says let's do this setback. I'm like, cool, great, and I put that out there. When we got to the council meeting, Mayor Liccardo reasoned, and I don't disagree, when we had 99 sites, and we added that criteria, our list of 99 city-owned sites came down to 4. And of the 4, 2 of them were in District 2, Councilmember Sergio Jimenez's district. One was in, I believe, District 7, but you would have to build a bridge to get there, and so that was cost prohibitive. And then there was one, I believe, in District 10. And so there was 3 sites left that were away from residences that would meet all the setback criteria. And you could say, yeah, let's just do it there. But Councilmember Jimenez would say, hey, you're putting all the homeless, or all these in my district, and if this were happening in District 4, you would want me to go to bat for you with the city council, say, no, everyone gets one. And so Councilmember Mayor Liccardo said, we can't go to our partner agencies, the Water District, the county, and DTA, and say, give us your land, we're unwilling to use ours. So he made the argument, and I voted in support of, everything's back on the table. And we will go back and we will yet have criteria, and that's open to debate, open to discussion. There's nothing set. All we know is that we want to continue exploring this idea of tiny homes because there's this 5-year window. And I will tell you, personally, I'm in support of this, but there is this issue of diminishing returns. So this law sunsets in 2022, January 2022. So we've already lost 10 months. We're in October right now. We're about to go to November. This won't go back to council until December, right? So assuming that we approve everything in December, which we won't, because there has to be a lot more planning involved, but assuming on January 1st, 2018, we are able to set up these tiny homes right away, that gives us 4 years to experiment and to see how productive and how worthwhile the program is. I'd be okay with that. If we were able to do it in 2019 and give us 3 years, I'd still be okay with that. Once we get to 2020 and we only have 2 years left, I don't know if that's a worthwhile investment of resources and time when we know that we're going to have to tear it down in 2 years. So for now, I still appreciate the innovation, and I appreciate the state for allowing us to innovate and try to think out the box and solving this problem that is very real for all of us. We say we don't want these villages inside our residential areas, and I completely empathize. But even without housing them, they're already here in our parks and by the public libraries. One gentleman said they were copulating in our library. So they're already here. So what do we do with them? Do we give them a place to just be stable and organized? And we can debate on how that works. But for now, I'm still on board with this idea. And we are hitting up the 8 o'clock timeline, so we have to end this meeting. But I will happily stand outside and talk to all of you, or any one of you who still wants to continue talking. We just have to release this community center. So if we can, let's move outside and release the site so we can start doing cleanup. And I'll be outside.